Hey everybody, and a warm welcome back to the Whiskey Cove. And on today's episode, we have an 8-bottle store haul to throw your folks' way. Run that video. Okay then folks, let's get into this video. And as usual, well, I like to show you folks out there some of the bottles that I've been drinking or I've been able to kill off this month. Just the 2 bottles for this month. I've been opening up a lot of new bottles to try some different stuff, so I haven't really had much of an opportunity to kind of kill off my bottles that I've got a little bit left. So the first bottle is Sazerac Rye. Sazerac Rye is a bit of a staple here in my house, just because if there's any cocktail that calls for rye, this is my go-to. And if there's anybody out there that's wanting to get into rye or looking for maybe like a cheaper bottle of rye, if you can get one of these Sazeracs, I would definitely pick it up. They are pretty readily available in most states. I think here in Colorado they run between $30 and $35. I think it's about 6 years old as well. I know that they're pretty readily available in places like Kentucky, and even if you're down in New Orleans as well, go to the Sazerac house because they have all the sizes and they're all this. There's like at least 1,000 bottles there, that feels like, at any one given time. So get down there if you're in New Orleans. If not, just keep an eye out for them. Like I said, they're pretty available. So that was Sazerac, and that was the first bottle I was able to kill off this month. The second bottle, and if you're someone who's watched this channel a lot, you might have heard me talk about this bottle, and that is a Maker's Mark Private Select pick. This was from a store down in Kentucky. I think it was in Lexington. I can't remember the name of the store. I think it was one like a Binny's or something like that, possibly. This was Stavosaurus Rex, coming in 109.6 proof or 54.8% alcohol. 3 baked American Pale Ale, 2 Maker's 46, and then 5 roasted French spice. This was a fantastic pick. This is probably my favorite Maker's pick to date. I think it only cost me around $60, so fantastic value for money. I'm a really good advocate, or a really big advocate, for Maker's picks, especially lately, and you'll see why coming up here in the video. But that was the last bottle I was able to kill up this month. So then let's get into some of the bottles I've acquired, I guess, in the last 30 days or so. First up, and you might have seen me talk about this bottle in another video where we talked about whiskeys to look for, whiskeys to keep an eye out for in the forthcoming months. So if you have an opportunity after this video, go to our channel and take a check out in some of those videos. So this bottle is called Wyoming National Park's number 2. So I said, okay, this might be a bottle you want to keep your eye open for, and I was able to pick this up. I think I paid about $45 for it, which is a fantastic price, I feel like. This is only 5 years old. It's a small batch bourbon. Comes in at 52.5% alcohol or 105 proof. I was really excited to get this bottle. Not only is it a limited edition whiskey as well, but I think some of the proceeds go back into kind of like the national parks in Wyoming. So it's a good cause for everybody involved. And then just looking on the back here, you can see kind of where it says like Yellowstone Forever. So I think that some of the money goes back to the Yellowstone National Park from this bottle. So that was Wyoming National Park's 2. Next up, a bottle on this list I was able to get. This is Arran Single Malt Scotch Whiskey. So this isn't a bottle I believe you can't get stateside. I had a friend who recently went to Scotland. Hey, what's going on, Michael? And he brought me back this bottle. This is a fantastic whiskey. I haven't been able to get into this bottle of Arran, but I have been able to get into some of the bottles that he brought back, which were from the same distillery, and they're all fantastic. Just reading some of the tasting notes here from the front of the bottle. This classic Arran, rich, honeyed and malty, soft vanilla and coconut character, citrus, fresh fruit, orchard fruits and hazelnuts. So a really appetizing palate. Coming in at 46% alcohol or 92 proof. And this must be the first bottle I've ever seen with Braille on the front there. You can see it just under the single malt line here. I'm not sure if that's for blind people or just people who are blind drunk. So I guess you could use it for both, right? So that was Arran Single Malt Scotch Whiskey. I'm not sure what the MSP was on that. Like I said, it was a gift, but I appreciate it nevertheless. That was the first bottle we've ever had kind of donated to the channel. So I appreciate that, Michael. Thank you so much. Next bottles, I should say, up on this list are a pair of Maker's Mark store picks. So I got these from a local liquor store here in Colorado. They released 2 barrels together. And one pick, they did exactly the same as what they did last year when they did a pick, and they entered that into, I think it was the San Francisco Liquor Awards, and it won double gold. So they went for the same stave profile again, and then they also brought out another new one, like a unique one. So I'm super excited to get into these because that one from last year was absolute fire. And again, you know, I'm really getting into, I'm really appreciating Maker's Mark a lot more, especially when it comes to these kind of like private selects, or I guess they call, yeah, private selection, sorry. So that was a pair of Maker's Mark store picks. I think they run me about $65 to $70 as well. And then next up we have Early Times bottled in bond. So on my last store haul video, I talked about picking up an Early Times bottled in bond, but that was the brown 4-man bottle. And as you can see here, it has a different cap. That cap is a blue cap because this bottle is now made by Sazerac, and this isn't their juice that I'm led to believe, but I believe they bottled it. So I think I'm gonna have to do a side-by-side between the two Early Times to see, just to see if there's any flavor difference here. Some folks talk about that there are, and then other folks talk that they're not. It could just be subtle differences between different bottling lines, but I guess we'll have to wait and see when we get into this. I think this run me about $25. This is of course bottled in bond, so it's 50% alcohol or 100 proof, and that was Early Times bottled in bond. So I've got 3 bottles left here. Last ones that we're going to be showing here today is a little bit special. But this one is Copper Sky Distillery here, a distillery in Colorado. And this is one of their Honey Barrel releases. This coming in at 59% alcohol or 118 proof. I believe this was kind of like their F Cancer pick. So that's why it has like the pink wax around it. I'm really excited to get into this because I've had some of the Copper Sky Honey Barrel stuff before, and that's fantastic as well. I actually paid $100 for 2 of these, which is a fantastic price. I think I managed to get in on like a group pick, so I was really happy to get that for this price because they do fantastic whiskey. A lot of the whiskey they do is usually MGP, or they do a lot of some Canadian stuff, which I think they might source from Alberta, but I don't know for sure. So that was Copper Sky Honey Barrel pick. And then also staying with Copper Sky, we have one more from them, and that is their Copper Sky Experimental Series whiskey finished in Amburana barrels, and this is their cigar blend. So I believe the Amburana barrels, or Amburana spirals, I think they said barrels, right? Yeah, the barrels. I believe that's a Brazilian oak from what I was being told. And if I read the back for you folks here, whiskey and cigars, a match made for a true aficionado. Not just any whiskey can be paired with a cigar though. Just like with food, the palate is very unique, key to the pairing of 2 different elements. If you know Copper Sky, you know we love doing things just a little bit differently. Instead of finding the right cigar to pair, we made the right whiskey. A rye whiskey rested in American oak and Amburana wood. This distinct batch is rightfully called the cigar blend, with notes of gingerbread, dried fruits, and an earthy aroma. Grab your favorite stick and enjoy this one as this one-of-a-kind experiment. Cheers. I was able to try this at kind of like a tasting at a friend's house, and it was phenomenal. It was probably up there for me personally with Joseph Magnus's cigar blend, albeit they're a little bit different. But I was, like I had to go and find this bottle then. I paid, I believe it was $80 for this bottle, and I think this is going to become one of my favorite whiskeys for this year. So that was Copper Sky, and that was their cigar blend. So then last and certainly not least, the bottle I was able to pick up this month. I did not buy this bottle from a store. I actually bought it from someone local here. I guess they were trying to sell some of their bottles to try to make room in their inventory or for whatever they needed money for. So this is a bottle that actually originally came from the US and then got exported to the UK because it is a 70 milliliter bottle. And it also has a UK tag on the back here. And this is Booker's 2015 batch 2. So this is 7 years and 2 months and 5 days old. This is a Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey, 63.7% alcohol or 127.4 proof. I can't remember what batch or the name of the batch this is. Let me see if I can pull that up. If I can't pull it up, I'll put it on the screen there. Yeah, it doesn't say on the case. It doesn't say, oh, I can't make it out on the bottle. However, it's an older bourbon, or it's an older Booker's. It's about 7 years old at this point, and I really want to see if some of the older Bookers are, better than the current Bookers. So I think that might be another video you can look out for this month. It's kind of, is Booker's juice getting better or worse? And I think this will be a kind of a good point to kind of gauge that from. So this was Booker's from 2015. That's all we have time for today, folks. Again, I'm just still trying to find what this Booker's was called, but I guess we can forget about that for the time being. But thank you for watching the video today, and if you like what we're doing, consider subscribing. Consider going over to the channel and checking some of the videos we've been doing. We've done a bunch of stove hauls before. We've also done some videos about whiskies to look out for, best whiskies for fall, and kind of like the Reddit "you only need 5 whiskey" challenge. So go and check that out, and if you enjoyed today's video, then consider hitting that like button as we drink through the world's whiskies one glass at a time. Cheers, folks.